Welcome to my Hebrew channel, Mila Baraika. I'm looking at Ruth 2, verse 16 in one of the ancient copies, handwritten, hand-painted copy. It's ink with a brush on parchment. So it's well preserved, beautiful. Back when I was first studying Hebrew, there was no idea, no concept you'd ever seen any of this, but now it's readily available. So let's make good use of it, looking at something way before verses, or way before the numbering system was applied to verses. So we'll have to apply our own numbering system when we look at it. We're looking at Ruth 2, verse 16. Get out an English Bible, get out your app, and let's learn a little bit of Hebrew here. Very much a continuation of verse 15, but some more details as to what Boaz expects from his workers. Very beautiful passage here, and I think in the end it does a little bit of a connection as to how Ruth finishes out her work at the field. So on to the study. 2 verse 16, verse 15 runs through here and ends with a siluk sof pasuk. If you want to know what all this is, look to previous study. Look at 2 verse 15, but 2:16 begins right here. So the shiluk sof pasuk, beautiful sof pasuk. Usually as sof pasuks are jammed in pretty tight, like over here. But here it's nicely visible. Ve'gam, and then also, and another order here, and this one's an emphatic order because you got shol, ta, shol, ta sholu, ta shol, ta sholul. When you have a paired verb sequence like this, the first one's going to work as an infinitive, and the second one, of course, is a prefixed do it. Okay, this is an order then. So it makes it an emphatic order. Okay, it makes it an emphatic command on the part of Boaz. Do this. Now the root here is shalal. Okay, shalal. We see it in Shalal Hashbah. That's one of the, as a noun over there. Isaiah's son was named that. The spoil, the stuff that is left over from a battle. We also find it in Proverbs 31, verse 11, where the husband of the Eshet Hayil, the virtuous woman, is introduced, and he lacks. He has no lack at all of shalal. He has no lack of gain or spoil or things that are available, because shalal for him is something that comes from the virtuous wife. The virtuous wife provides a lot of good things. So if you're talking about battle and things getting torn apart, like in Isaiah 9, reference to the people who are after spoils of battle, yeah, you'd translate this in a negative way. But if it's something that's gained, something we receive in a fortuitous way, okay, it's shalal, and the shorter form of it just simply lops off the lamed. The lamed in this verb suffers a lot of apocope. In other words, apocope is the last letter, drops off very easily, drops off. We're going to see that we're probably not going to see this one again. We're going to see it again when the other Goel, the other Redeemer, Shalaf, pulls off his shoe, hands it over, an indication that he's in agreement with what Boaz is proposing there in redeeming the property and redeeming and reestablishing the name of Elimelech and Mahlon. But and that's part of the same family then, okay? Shin Lamed Lamed and Shin Lamed Peh and Shalaf, and that allows us to think of let's slough it off, okay? Slough, slough, yeah, Shalaf. It's something that's pulled out, thrown away, okay? Pulled out, thrown away, okay? That's what it is here. Shol tashalu, and so pull out some special stuff, pull out the grain. Toss it out, and and then provide gain or provide spoil for her. Okay, lamed hay, towards her. This is preposition of towards, and then the hay here. I think it's a peak. The scribes probably were pointing this out a lot. I don't know why, because the letter's kind of worn off, of course. But here it is, lock towards her, a peak, and then so that's suffix pronoun, third person feminine singular, and there it is, shalach, to her. Men from. This is independent preposition here, with tied up with this one's a joined up preposition. This one's this one's joined up preposition, agglutinated preposition. This one's independent, and that's but it is tied in with the makif. With that makif, we don't have an accenting here. So min from ha, she va tim, from the grain, from the sheaves. Okay, we've seen a constant progression here of describing the grain. We've seen shibolim, okay, that's the waves of grain, standing waves of grain. We've seen the omerim, the young man mentioned it, and Boaz mentioned in the previous verse. Now we have the shibatim, and this is also a sense of something that's waving, but also something that's in hand. Okay, the hands of the tied grain, the hands of grain. Take even from the stuff that you already have gathered, already holding, just pull out of that, throw it on the ground behind you, so that she be able to glean that. So, and then va az betem, and then abandon it, leave it behind. Okay, leave it there. And the antecedent of this particular pronoun is these things right here. Okay, the things that you would pull out of the shibotim, throw that behind you. Okay, az batem, abandon them. Azav is very well known root. We've mentioned this quite a few times. Okay, ayin zayin bet, abandon them. Okay, abandon them, throw them out, throw them back. Ve le ka lechta. Okay, we're going to run this. Oh no, it's got a dagish, so we're with the dagish. You're quite willing to pronounce the shua. Okay, lekata. Okay, because dagish duplicates the pronunciation of kof, and then at least the shua is going to work for providing the start of the second syllable here. Okay, so va lekotof, lekata, and then so that. No, this is not a preposition purpose. This is part of the root. Okay, this is it's something you have to keep your eyes open here. You have the root right here, lakat, and then the same root right here, lakat. So that's telekat. There that didn't look like a preposition. Here it looked a little bit like a preposition, but it's not. It's a root. Lamed, kaf, tet. Okay, and then she gleans, she gathers, she can harvest this. Okay, the kata, she does. It's a feminine singular suffix ending of this particular verb. And then she gathers, she gleans, she harvests. Okay, ve, is there? No, just ve lo, and do not. Well, the atna is over here, but anyway, ve lo, and not tig aruva, tigaruva, and don't criticize her. Don't call out to her. Don't. And there's a sense of onomatopoeia here, because just listen to it. Geharu, garu. Don't growl at her. Garu. Don't. So that is one way of remembering the this particular verb right here. So when you have a negation here with lo and don't, then it's very normal to have a prefix form of your verb starting the verb here. Our apps will try to indicate it as an indicative, but it is most certainly an imperative. So it isn't. If you take the prefix form, put a negation on it, it no longer functions as an indicative. It looks like an indicative. Incidentally, they probably do a lot of this translating via computer, so the computer is just going to very nicely translate as an imperfect or an indicative. But the reality is, it is an imperative. Okay, so when you always make sure the context connects with what your grammar is trying to tell you, or your app's trying to tell you. And here, this most certainly is working as an imperative. So even though the formation, the morphology, or the parsing of this verb isn't won't show up on the computer as an imperative, but it is an imperative because of the lo. Yeah, Velo, tig, garu, va, and don't growl at her, don't criticize her, don't be angry with her. And then at the end here, you have a comments, and then a hey with a mapik in it. So that's a pronoun, a feminine suffix pronoun, and that the antecedents of this one would be Ruth. Although Ruth is not mentioned in the passage, but from pure context, we understand this is Ruth. So these are still all words and indications and orders of Boaz to his workers. The next verse 17 begins right in here. It was Hiluk Sof Pasuk. The Sof Pasuk's just barely visible. I said Sof Pasuk's nicely visible here, just barely visible in here. And then the next part here start out with feminine prefix nouns, verbs, and then moves on to what she is doing from here on. So stick on for the study of 2:17, and there it comes to what Ruth is doing the last little while she's at the field, and then from there transitions back to the city. So beautiful passage again. When we are lacking in gain or lacking in spoil, the Lord provides, and anybody who is in a good marriage relationship, this provision is there as well. Okay, the husband of the Eshet Hayil receives gain, receives shalal. Okay, shalal is there. He has enough. He maybe not super abundant, but he has enough to be able to sit at the city gate and talk with all of his friends. And yeah, he lacks. He's very happy with the virtuous wife because there's lots of shalal. And this is what we see here. When we are faithful, when yeah, shalal is available, and there's extra to be shared. And so if Lord has blessed you, bless others with what you have received. That's what Boaz is doing here, and it turned out to be a tremendous blessing to him as well. So God bless, and may God provide shalal. May God provide the things you need in life, and may God be with you and care for you throughout all of your days. Until the next time.